apprehensions at the border have gone way down. They picked up, in other words, it's improved. He did not give credit to Texas Governor Rick Perry, who's brought 3,000 National Guardsmen to the border to help deal with that situation. Louis Gohmert is here of that fine state. Congressman, you were very patient throughout all of this. I do want to touch on the ISIS situation first, by the way. So there's some confusion when the president refers to ISIS or ISIL or the Islamic State of Iraq and Levant, which seems to be the popular way to refer to the ISIS threat now. Bottom line, they're just bad guys, and bottom line is the president said we don't have a strategy right now. Do you buy that?
No, I agree. He has never had a good strategy. And I don't want people to lose sight of the fact when we're talking about ISIS, ISIL, the rebels in Syria, the rebels in Iraq. When people say he should have bombed, he was going to bomb Assad a year ago. If he had done what he said he was going to do,
that was ISIS, a year ago this weekend.
That was a year ago. Then ISIS would have already taken over all of Syria. If he had done in Syria as he did in Libya. Now, Gaddafi was a bad guy, but since 2003,
if he had bombed then a year ago now when he had that opportunity,
ISIS would have Syria, basically. I mean, the rebels would have had Syria.
So what does he do now?
Well, you bomb the bad guys, and that is ISIS. It's the radical Islamists. It's always been. He saw it a few years ago as being an Arab Spring. It was radical Islam, and he kept choosing to help radical Islam.
So let me ask you this, let me be clear, that if the president decides to act unilaterally and go ahead...
He won't have to. He'll have plenty of members of Congress
so you would back him. You would back him on that?
You betcha. I think a lot of us would be willing to have a declaration of war against radical Islam, including Al-Qaeda, ISIS, ISIL, you know, all of these splinter groups, the ones in Libya. We can name them, and I don't think a lot of us would have.
So we know more now than we did a year ago.
Well, some of us knew last year. We were going, you're helping, just like we did in Libya. You're going to help the radical Islamists take over. Assad's not a good guy, but at least he has not been persecuting Christians and Jews and mistreating people the way.
So he's the lesser of our evils.
Yes, just like Mubarak was, just like Gaddafi was after 2003 only, after we went into Iraq. But he has consistently chosen, with whatever ridiculous advice he's been getting, to choose the side of the radical Islamists.
So you think now, Congressman,
weapons
you think now he acted to deal with ISIS in Syria, in Iraq, wherever this expands, you would be for it, and you think Republicans would support him?
As long as he's going after the radical Islamists and not the Assad administration.
General Bob Scales, if you're still there, my friend, I don't know if you are. What do you think of that? And that the president would act, and maybe with the folks like the congressman's blessing, to expand this campaign?
Well, I think the congressman is right. You know, the president can talk about diplomatic, political, and economic and coalition approaches to the ISIS problem. But here's the thing, Neil. ISIS is overwhelmingly a military problem. It is a military challenge to the West, not diplomatic or political. And he's exactly right. And nowhere in the president's speech did he talk about offensive military options, only defensive military options to protect embassies and to protect and to use for humanitarian purposes. The bottom line is this: ISIS can't be defeated unless we or someone kills them. That's it. Right. ISIS doesn't care about anything else. They want to establish a caliphate over the bodies of the unbelievers, and the way you get rid of them is to kill them, not to deal with them, Neil.
That's right.
General, thank you. Congressman, to you on this illegal immigration, if I could follow up, because the president has indicated that